Walking into school, my red collar shining in the sun, looking both ways as I crossed the road, and giving my best friend a hug as I met her at the gates. It was my world, my life for 7 years, until my red collar turned into a red hood. Time passes, memories are made. One class united by the tropical melodies of a ringtone. Everything stops. People dance. 30 children all smile as they share a moment of happiness and joy. 2017, my red collar still glowing bright. I wanted to be a performer, a stage star, but one role I always refused to play was a lesser version of myself. Despite the advice, my star had its chance to shine as I sang my heart away as my voice floated over the rainbow. 7 years passed. Everything comes to an end eventually, except the ending didn't feel real. A little boy's world was changing as he realised he had outgrown his red collared uniform. Hugging your best friend on the last day, knowing you'll never share a classroom again, is a weird feeling. My tears began to drop as they left a watermark on our uniform that no longer fit. My red collar turned into a red hood, getting ready to protect me as they moved on to my next adventure. Music binds everyone together, the notes acting as ropes that tie hands into one another. Performing is an expression of art and passion, each dance move telling a story as bodies majestically sway to the melodies of a song. London, the West End, 2018. A little boy sang his heart out as one of his biggest dreams came true. Forgetting his shoes as he sprinted out the stage door to give his family a hug, rehearsing the choreography each night to put on a performance of a lifetime. A bow was taken as one of his life goals was achieved. Paris, Disneyland, 2022. Another dream came true. A French lighting box grasped my view as I twirled my brush around the stage. Applause echoed around the auditorium as I realised the achievement I had just accomplished. I'll never forget the view of my family clapping as I took one of my final bows. To carry on looking at the lighting box, I needed two things: cheers from my family and a cheer from myself. Claps would always surround every theatre, but I could never give myself a standing ovation. My love for the lighting box never ended, but my confidence in myself did. My final performance, Christmas 2022. Tears in my eyes as I sang my final solo, hugging my friends as I shared the stage with them for the last time, thanking my teachers for the lessons they taught me, waving to my family as the final curtain closed. I took one last look at the lighting box, being grateful for the memories we'd shared, reflecting on the routines I had learned and the friendships I had made. I will never forget the jumps, glides and turns I used to do, as it showed me how beautiful the world truly is. Woodland walks, distant daydreaming. Two children running around creating a world of possibilities, leaping over logs as they acted as barriers in their path, until suddenly they are both out the other side. Where did the time go? Our little adventures, walks by the lake, using up our old bread as we made promises which we go on to keep. Do you promise to always be my best friend, Char? Yes, forever. Ducks glided as we fed them their idea of heaven. Life was all one big playground. Field drives. We began to grow up. The two children who once pushed each other on the swing suddenly became each other's rock. Up the hill we drove. I looked at the mirror. Behind us was the woodland that once used to host our little adventures. But no matter what age I am, life is always an adventure when I am with my fellow explorer. 18 years of friendship, two friends filled with pride, unlimited memories. Our voyages are no longer as frequent, but we still go on them. I will never forget the places we discovered on our little adventures. The jet roared, the sun began to rise. My tummy felt funny as a new experience was starting. 3. 2, 1, take off. I was in the sky. London glowed beneath me. The streetlights acted as stars. It was magical, but also petrifying. A white blanket appeared. We were getting closer. Norwegian mountains dominated the landscape. I was called up to the phone. I announced a joke to the plane. My humour wasn't the best, but nothing could ruin my first flight. The plane shook. Was it the wind, or did I imagine it? We were almost there. The ice patiently waited. I put on my seatbelt as my first takeoff was almost over. Claps filled the plane. We are on the ground. The wheels slid on the snow as the plane wasn't used to the uneven terrain. My adventure was about to begin. Lapland, my winter wonderland, was around me. I walked off the plane and gave it a smile. It had delivered me safely and had made all my dreams come true. Wind flying through my hair, tyres scraping the road, breathing in the fresh air as my jacket glided behind me, riding on the quiet country roads, not a car in sight. 300 miles, a challenge of a lifetime. Both I and my bicycle facing challenges along the way. We had a falling out. My bike flew me across the road. We made up and completed our journey. My family waited, my street packed with cheers and claps. We'd done it. 300 miles on the quiet country roads. Dogs chased us. My bike broke a few bones, but we always completed the challenges we set ourselves. We were a strong team. My bike and I explored the world. It protected me, its brakes acting as a shield. I protected it too, my balance acting as its support. But nothing lasts forever. Eventually we stopped riding on the quiet country roads. Cars flooded the lanes. Buses began to appear. My bicycle sat quietly in the garage, waiting for our next big adventure to begin. But the next time we went on a ride, there would be 4 of us, a new person to explore the now busy country roads with. We rode into the distance, as we remembered the adventures we once used to go on. My red collar turned into a black blazer, walking away from the people who made me smile so many times. Blue carpet corridors, white walls, my eyes adjusting as I realised the step I had just made. B210 was distant for 3 years, a classroom at the end of a path that I'd never stepped foot in. But in year 10, I was given the key to a room which would hold memories good and bad. The moment the door opened, my world had been changed. Upon my uniform were the colours black and gold, representing the ups and downs of an average high school experience. There were moments of silence, my brain stopping to process the bitter words of jealousy and fierceness that were being drilled into my brain. But there were times of excitement, taking to the stage to accept a shining shield, which went on to protect me from the storms that were to come. B210 was my defence, my safe space. Friends laughed, hugs were given, but not all seas are calm. A wave will knock your ship over at some point, lifting you up, threatening you, and leaving you on the floor in tears for your teacher to save you. B210 continued to be my place, the room where I could shine. My friends made it glow, and I kept the key. I never forgot the time and kindness that was given to me in that room, and how it shaped me into the person I am today. I'm taking a video. Hi. Wave to the camera.
It's your turn.
Oh my gosh, there's an 8. Yes.
Say Uno.
You got a bit of time.
You didn't say Uno.
Light reflecting from my mirror onto my face as I began a new page. Arguably one of the most important in my life. My ring light was on, lighting up my room as I hit record for the first time. A famous face popped into the waiting room. I felt nervous as I accepted their invitation. The first hello planted itself into my mind. My first interview. Done. Now I knew how to sail my ship. I began my journey across the ocean of creativity. 100 down, many more to go. Life felt ecstatic. I was proud. Nearly every day I switched on my ring light, telling the stories of people who I admired. I kept my eyes on the camera, vowing to never give up. There were times where I wanted to, but I kept on going. It wasn't always smooth sailing. People doubted me, they told me to stop, but despite what people said, I chose to follow my dream. I grew in confidence. Comments changed. I felt like I'd achieved something. It wasn't just a ring light shining anymore. Now when I look back, I can't help but smile. A little boy began a new challenge, but now it's so much more. It's my life, hopefully my future career. Who would have thought that a ring light could have turned into something so wonderful? A big thank you from me, because I couldn't do this without your support. I am so grateful to you all. Walking through the halls, looking at all our memories that were being shown in front of our eyes, saying goodbye to the place where I became a grown-up, a hall full of people who I wasn't ready to wish farewell to. Exams completed, papers signed off, sitting in our last lessons, looking at each other whilst we waited for the clock to hit 3:30. Click. It was all over. Shirts were covered in multicoloured inks, each person leaving their mark on their friend's uniform. My blazer glided down the hall for the final time, knowing it was about to be hung up for eternity. My last lesson was over. It was time for me to go. I hugged my friends, praying they wouldn't forget me. They had 2 more years to go, but I needed to fly. It was time for a new adventure. I had no idea the people I was about to meet and the opportunities that would arise. I'll make you all proud. A promise in which I kept. I'll never forget our last lesson together. One more walk down the corridor, one more push of the door. I looked at my teacher, knowing the conversation I was about to have. I wasn't ready. Goodbye didn't feel right. Thank you for everything. You have no idea how you've helped me. Promises were made, hugs were given, advice was spoken. I closed my eyes, I took a deep breath. I turned around and took in my favourite classroom for the final time. I'll never forget my last lessons, laughing with my friends until I turned red, thanking my teacher as she dedicated her time to me. I felt like a jigsaw piece had been removed from my heart. I didn't feel complete anymore. Bon voyage, the bell has rung for the final time. Welsh Waterfalls. New friends. New adventures. The 6th of August. My dad drives me to the mountains. I wave goodbye as my journey at Pen y Fan begins. Welsh Waterfalls in Welsh mountains. Clear blue skies. Walks with strangers turned into laughs with friends. Welsh Waterfalls. Diving into water. The currents transporting me across the lake. I smiled as I reflected on the memories I'd made and the people I'd met. Welsh Waterfalls. Saying goodbye. The mountains were covered in clouds as we departed one another. The car drove away. My time in Wales was over. I missed it instantly, so I went back the week after, but my Welsh waterfall had moved on. I opened my book on the train. Adele starts singing in my ear. History is all you left me, my book of 2023. I travel on a bus, down a hill towards the sea. A tear fell down my cheek as the story didn't have a happy ending. Books, they feel real. I can picture it all in my mind. I can imagine the characters and places I've been. Writing is so powerful. Stories are so powerful. Life is one big story, each chapter having its own message to share. 1 year later, I open my book on the train. Adele starts singing in my ear. What if it's us? My book of 2024. I travel on a train, across the track towards my house. A tear fell down my cheek as I thought about my past, how fast time has gone. Writing is special. Words can contain so much emotion. Lyrics, paragraphs, poems, speeches, they can all leave an impact on someone. My books. I don't read many, but the ones I do mean the world to me. As I travel, I'll often have one in my bag, giving me the option to dive into another person's world, seeing their life from their perspective.
Sometimes when you're in like the darkest, deepest feelings of your own, it really does feel like, and I say this from experience, it really feels like nothing will ever get better. And when you're in that dark state, the way that your brain plays tricks on you to make you think that people don't want you here and people don't love you and things like that is absolutely crazy. But please, if you ever do have those kind of thoughts, talk to somebody, or find a song, or find something that becomes your friend. But just talk, because you always can come out of that pit. You always can. So thank you for that sign, my love. I'm so glad you did hold on.
Golden sand, clear water, warm sun, Del Carmen. Towering mountains of volcanic rock emerged from the dusty desert landscape, standing with purpose as they acted as landmarks across the island. History was scattered everywhere, in every wall, pavement, house and hotel. Del Carmen. The sun shone light into the ocean, allowing me to see the aquatic life swimming around my feet. The curiosity of the fish scared me, but it was also intriguing. The crystal water felt like home as I dived into it and floated across the shore. Del Carmen was busy, filled with life and love. People danced until sunset. Memories were made. They lived through my videos, snow globes, but most of all, they lived through the people I got to make them with. I may never visit Del Carmen again, so I'm glad I appreciated every moment. As I waved goodbye, the pavement cried, as it knew that our departure may be permanent. I took to the skies, looking down through the clouds at an island which held so many wonderful moments of my life. Becoming 18 is a strange experience, knowing that I really now am growing up. In some ways, it feels like I'm saying goodbye to the child version of myself, but in other ways, I feel like I've been ready for this birthday for a long time. No more running down the stairs to get ready for primary school. No more car rides to see my teachers. No more bedtime stories. No more kids' songs echoing around the living room. It's hard to imagine saying goodbye to childhood, but I vow to let my younger self still be a part of me. I now have new favourite singers, new favourite TV shows, but I'll never forget the elements of my life that have made me who I am. Childhood Charlie will never be forgotten. I see reminders of my past everywhere. In my sister's smile, playing games with my cousins, sleepovers at my grandparents', days out with my family. The past can't be the present, but my memories will always remain. I know I'm ready to grow up. My next chapter awaits. But before I go, I'm going to enjoy what I have now. Priceless moments with my family, cheering on my sister at her competitions, singing songs by Adele and Lana Del Rey, shopping trips with my grandparents, and spending time with people who make my smile shine. I'm becoming 18. It's scary, but exciting. The future is bright, but my past will always make up the stars in the night sky. I'll keep my younger self close as we navigate our dreams together.